Live Shisana, who was a deli assistant at Checkers, was allegedly murdered by her husband, and the trial looking into her death is currently being heard at the High Court in Pretoria this week. The incident actually took place on the 16th of November, back in 2021. It happened to be during the 16 Days of Activism campaign. Now, at the time of her death, those close to Live said that her husband actually suspected her of having an affair. Let's speak about this a bit more now. Bring in Patricia Nyman, who is the head of gender or at least the gender department at SACCAWU. That's the workers' union. She joins us now in our studios. It's lovely to have you with us, Patricia. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Ayanda, and good afternoon to the viewers.
It's sadly, this is an all too common story in a country like ours, isn't it? You know, somebody, usually a woman, being killed by somebody else who's close to them, including their partner. Let's take a few steps back. Who was Live's Shisana, and why has it taken so long for her case to be heard in court?
Well, Live's Shisana was a young woman. She was just 35 years old. She was the sole breadwinner in her family as well. You know, she migrated from the rural area into the suburbs at Ridgeville, and she had two children, very young children under the age of 10. She was a long-standing member of SACCAWU. She worked at ShopRite Checkers at Ridgeville, and according to her colleagues at work, comrades at work, she was a lovely person, a quiet person, a very humble person, and most of all, she was a very beautiful a young woman. And as she was a SACCAWU member, her shop steward at her store came to ask the union official to assist her with getting the parents her provident fund money, and it so happens that was in March 2022, and it so happens that the story then came out that the husband allegedly killed her, strangled her to death. And from what the shop steward also told us was that he had stayed with according to her colleagues and the shop steward, they didn't see that there were any problems between themselves. He used to fetch her at work, and everything seemed to have been normal. The family concurs with that. They also said they did not know that there were any problems within their relationship. And he even lobola to her, you know, they were going to get married. And he allegedly strangled her, sat with the body for the whole night, and he handed himself over to the police.
Wow. And
it took us since that time, almost a year and a half, at the lower magistrates court, protesting, picketing, until we finally, it got to trial, the High Court, this week.
Right.
It was a very long, dragged-out process. The union got involved as well. We spoke to the prosecutor, asking him, why is it taking so long?
And what answers were you getting?
The answers that we were very frustrated on behalf of the family, because we were supporting the family, you know, through this whole tragic incident. They told us that there were no autopsy reports, there were no forensic evidence, no post-mortem results. All those reports that are required, you know, during a death of a person, it was not available. Every month, we went to court, we picketed, we protested, we supported the family. We went to the prosecutor to find out, look, can't this process be sped up? Even the magistrate at the lower court said that, look, this case is taking too long.
Yeah.
You know, it's taking too long, and it has to go to the High Court. But we're waiting on the documents from the forensic labs, and that is surely, you know, a question of justice. Delayed is justice denied.
Absolutely.
And now and somebody senior from the National Prosecuting Authorities have taken over the case, and has started the case afresh.
Sure. Are you satisfied with how this case has started, given how long it's taken for it to even be heard in court?
No, we're not at all satisfied. And we know just this case alone, and we know that there are hundreds of other cases where domestic violence is involved, the partner gets killed, and it just gets dragged out for a very long time. And at the end of the day, the victim is denied justice. You know, the family doesn't feel consoled. There's no closure to the family or to the children, because the children are left traumatized because due to the death of their mother in the manner in which it took place. And that is just what women are facing in South Africa.
Yeah, and I shudder at the thought of how many other cases are probably being swept under the rug because they don't have a SACCAWU, for instance, protesting outside month in, month out. And I wonder if there's any ways of, I don't know, growing what you've now identified to be an issue, right, in our courting system, by making sure that a whole lot more people can be assisted in this way, or is that a bit of a tall ask?
Well, if we have the community support and we have, you know, action and putting pressure on the relevant authorities like the NPA, like SAPS, like the forensics labs, that they should have more funding, they should have more person power in order to speed up the process of obtaining all these reports that are really necessary for these court cases. So right along the way you have this delay in the process. And I think that government should pay more attention. We've got a number of policies in place. I can name it for you, but they are the departments are underfunded, under-resourced.
Absolutely.
And priority is not being given to domestic violence cases and gender-based violence cases.
Sure.
In this case.
Absolutely. And may we never tire of, shining a spotlight on these kind of stories the way we have now. Thanks very much indeed for helping us at least put a spotlight on this particular one. Really do appreciate it. The story of live Shisana, may she never be forgotten, given, of course, I imagine, the kind of contribution to make to her own family. Patricia Nyman, thanks for coming through. We appreciate your time on Newzroom Afrika.